And what is up, my bros? It's another episode in the Windy City. Unfortunately, my city is not too windy right now, but we are here to talk about Kamen Rider W. Happens to be our guest's favorite show for Kamen Rider, but you guys know my current co-host, who's always been my co-host. I'm guessing with you, Gary. I mean, you know, Dresden's always trying to take your job, but he actually hasn't bugged me about it lately. But
And for the last time, Dresden, you could probably have my job in October, depending on how the schedule lines up, only for that episode. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Insane Asylum. How are we all doing today?
And I said you're an inspector this time, not a warden, man. Come on.
Also, just a little behind the curtain. I promise you, there will be no random shopping this time. I've acquired my siren builder, and that's it. Now to Reggie with weather.
Okay, I mean, I was waiting for an introduction.
Yeah, come on, Gary.
So
I was waiting for an intro. Oh, damn.
Okay, as you guys know, we have a special guest today. Somebody who, well, for those who have been following me, know that this is my better half, my other half, my love, and also like I said, a huge fan of Kamen Rider W. So everybody, say hello to Tori.
Hi! I watch Kamen Rider W at least once every 6 months. It's either that or Death Note. I like brain things. Brain things make my brain go brr.
So as you guys can tell, Tori is a more dedicated Double fan than I am an O's fan because of how often they watch the show. But yeah, as I said, you know, other half, we were originally supposed to be a part of a double fan dub that I think never really came off the ground.
Because Toei was being, Toei with it's actually a dub by seasoned Toku creator at the time, Marco Satsu.
Yeah. Where Tori was going to be Philip and I was going to be Shotaro.
Oh my god. Oh my god. If we were gonna have props, I would have gotten my double driver down off my shelf.
Darn it, I forgot to text you for that. So that way you could pull out Cyclone. I could do the henshin right now, but
I don't have it on me, but I have a trigger random that a friend of the show, SSJ3 Goku, aka Donald, bought for me because I want to bet. So thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
So as you guys know, Kamen Rider W is a half and half kind of guy. We have the mind and the body. 2 bodies in one, or 2 souls in one body. So this is for you guys. Sorry if it's loud.
Yoga.
That's one of the CSM 1.5 double drive.
I actually have the Gaia memories that actually have Shotaro and Philip's dialogue in the Gaia memories.
Yeah. So those were special promo ones.
Yeah. Yeah, they're I believe it was our friend from the Token Nations Discord that actually found them for me at really cheap price. I think they were like $20 each.
Yep.
Which good luck finding those for that cheap nowadays.
Yep, especially with the popularity of Double and of course the upcoming anime Futo Tante Yai coming out fairly soon. I know, Tori, you have your reservations about the actual manga itself, but you know, the fact that we are getting this is the fact that we are getting this soon. You know, it's more Kamen Rider representation for America, though, at least. So that's a positive of it.
Okay, because
you will be seeing a first look at Anime Expo coming up in July. So,
which is great. Like I'm so sorry for cutting you off, but but the reason that I don't like Kamen Rider Futo Tantai is that I don't know if either of you two have actually read the original manga. I personally have, because I have a friend who actually translates the chapters for me as they come out, so I have personal translations that I read. And just the characterization of Philip and Shotaro is not like anything that makes sense considering the ending of Double. Philip is back to being very disconnected, very cold.
Calculating. Kind of like an autopilot.
Yeah, and Shotaro's straight. Like, I'm sorry, that's just incorrect. But he's also like cool. Like he's actually he's actually succeeding at being cool. This man has like a 6-pack abs. This man's like I don't it's not Kamen Rider Double as I know it. It's not.
Essentially, what they kind of marketed as supposed to be like a sequel series is more like sequel series in an alternate universe kind of deal.
It really kind of disregards all the character growth and all the kind of like the growth of Philip and Shota together as a pair. They've kind of they are going they are walking in the same direction, but they are not working together as well as they did in the series. And it's actually a characterization that went over into Kamen Rider Memory of Heroes. Because, once again, Shotaro and Philip, while they do work together, Philip is constantly on Shotaro's butt and, like, not agreeing with everything that he's saying. And, like, I don't know, the characterization in Memory of Heroes very much fits what Kamen Rider Double Futo Tantai is doing, and I'm not super sure how I feel about the characterization of these characters moving forward, just because the originals hold such a special place for me.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're perfectly fine, Tori. Like,
yeah,
this is why I wanted to bring you on, because, like I said, you have the most passion for this series.
For the secret Gary haters, this will be a Gary light episode because these two have clearly had more to talk about Double than I do because it's been about 12 years since I watched Double. But before we get to Double, I'm bringing back an old segment. What have you guys been up to that's not Kamen Rider related? Tori, we'll start with you.
Actually, I have a lot that I've been up to. I've been working on getting my VTuber stuff going. I'm not gonna plug that here because it's not ready. I'll tell you guys when it's ready. I've been also playing in a TTRPG called Persona CC. Basically it takes basically it's like Shin Megami Tensei, Persona kind of adjacent, and it's all a homebrew system. And my character, I actually took the names and kind of some of the general characterizations for Philip, into that game, and kind of changed him around a little bit. Gave him a new design. I redesigned his new outfit and everything. But then Philip died, as one does. But then he got revived as Raito Sonozaki. And now in that game, we have a bunch of, like, actually recently in the session that I had at midnight, because the Neon was like, hey, do you want to solo at midnight? I was like, well, I have work at 9 a.m. the next day, but sure, let's go. And pretty much his mom showed up in a dream and basically said, hey, I want you to become God. And he was like, oh, bet, I guess. And he's like a warlock and stuff. So it's very different from Kamen Rider Double, but I really like the character of Philip. And so I was like, let's put him in Persona. And so that's where I'm currently standing. And I'm working.
Side note for Xbox people like myself, Persona is finally coming to Xbox, so I can actually play that on Game Pass.
Yeah, it's coming to PS4 and PS5 too, I believe.
Never played the Persona franchise. Always been intrigued. Reginald, what have you been up to, my friend?
Well, Gabriel. As you know, like I've been distracted from my drawings lately because I started collecting Pokemon cards again, and I started playing the online TCG.
Oh no!
They're taking over a lot of my time.
My brother's been playing that too recently.
Well, he's probably gonna kick my ass because, like, as you guys know who do play the game, is that, like, basically the only time you get new cards is if you win matches or if you actually buy the physical cards and get the digital codes. Luckily enough, Trinity and Cosmos on our Discord, Tori, they both provided me with a bunch of codes since they don't play, or well, at least Trinity plays it, but Cosmos doesn't. So I was able to get more cards from my pack, and I was just like, okay, yeah, this is cool. Beyond that, going back to Legends Arceus, because I've been watching a lot of Pokemon YouTubers, doing like competitions to see who can find more shinies and stuff like that. So like, I really want to do a stream like that someday because I haven't done any streams since I think of February last year.
So I have two quick stories revolving that, and then I'll get into what I've been doing. One,
I wasn't really done.
Oh, sorry, Reggie. Go ahead. Sorry.
And for those who have been paying attention to my Twitter, I am going to be starting a cape making business for 112 scale figures. Started making a couple of things. They're more over on that side, so I didn't have any like right up in front of me right now so I could show you. But basically, I have my rates ready. I'm going to go ahead and put those up on July 1st. So anybody that is interested, let me know. But yeah, like I said beforehand, though, let me know if it's any other colors besides white, red, and black, because those are the only fabrics I did buy last time. So, but yeah, those are most of what I've been doing lately. So.
Okay, so what you're saying is if I want to commission you to make a cape for my high grade Psycho Gundam, just slide into your DMs. I got you.
Essentially, yeah. So basically. I do have specific rates. I have like different wire types too, because these are not just like hey, this is a piece of fabric that flaps around. These are actually articulated capes with wire. Actually, real quick.
Oh, I know what I know what I'm commissioning him for. I know because yeah.
And then it's actually with wires, so it can shape and form. In a way, so like that.
as I'm looking over at my like Figuarts / Gundam kit shelf, I'm thinking, could my death side that I'm gonna get eventually benefit from having a better cloak?
Now, Reggie, I got a question for you.
Yes, my love.
Could I commission you to do a scarf? Do a windbreaker for the Cyclone Joker figure you sent me. That way it's practically the same as the new one that I didn't manage to get because that was the only reason I wanted it was the postable windbreaker.
The new one that I'm getting in October. Yeah, I can definitely go ahead and make you one, love. I just need to double check in with when that actually comes in. I need to see how they structure it because like I tried making a scarf the other day for Ichigo and it did not really come out that well. It's like this would be just like a fold over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's not. So you can see like there's some fray in the fabric, so it didn't really come out that well.
Yeah, that's so fair. But yeah, no. As soon as I saw that you were doing capes, I was like, it could just be like the Cyclone Joker for the new Cyclone Joker, only except I didn't have to pay an exorbitant amount of money to get a posable cape.
It's the new Cyclone Joker is essentially the meme of, but she's got a new hat.
Lord, I mean, I bought the new Q pockets for Philip and Shotaro. To be honest.
Yeah, the little chibi figures, right?
Yeah, I pre-ordered, but I pre-ordered the regular ones. I kind of wanted to get the alternate color ones, but also like money.
We'll get into my money spending woes in a minute, but
I have at least somewhat self-control. My last big purchase was the CSM Decade Driver, the new one that came out.
I write all my expenses in this notebook, so.
I don't do that. I'll just like make my anxiety go up, and I don't feel like that. I don't look at my baking either. I'm just like, as long as my debit card works, it's fine.
Speaking of pre-orders, like I got for those who did go in on it, the Mastermind, Mastermind collaboration, that Black Ichigo that went up in January.
Oh yeah,
which is basically like my pre-order birthday present for myself back then. It's finally shipped. Apparently, it's supposed to be here tomorrow, so that's going to be interesting. Yeah, so definitely looking forward to taking pictures of that with normal Ichigo because, like, I was, kind of shooting ideas with Toku Photobiz Chad, and then, we both kind of have the same idea, so that'll be something fun to do. But yeah,
Anyway.
that's basically what I've been up to. Gary,
Okay.
you got the floor.
So before I talk about myself, two Pokemon related things for you, Reggie, because you brought up how you're playing the Pokemon card game online, right?
Mm-hmm.
Has it caused your computer to crash several times yet?
I play on my iPad.
Okay. Second question. You know you could buy the codes in bulk on eBay, right?
I also like looking at the shiny physical cards.
But I'm saying if you want like more cards for your collection online, you could do that too.
Yeah, but I want the thrill of because like somebody in my area actually people are trying to sell you Pokemon cards in your area. Click here now. But somebody that's in my area, who he follows me on Twitter, he actually mentioned that he does buy Pokemon cards in bulk. That he was going to be selling a couple of the individual cards, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
well, see, I like buying the packs because the thrill of finding out what you get in there. Which is like why, if you guys saw my little brief live stream yesterday, I was so thrown off by that V-Star marker. I was like, this isn't a card. And then people were like, that actually play the card game, like IRL, told me like what it's for. I'm like, well, it took up one of my card slots though. It got me all excited. But
Trust me.
yeah, Peacemaker. Everybody, summertime's coming. Keep cool, keep hydrated.
Yeah.
In some parts, like I live in the valley, so we're like a kind of like a bowl essentially is like how I want to say it, because like we get either the cold from the northern area or the heat from the southern area, and it just like kind of converges on us. So this past week,
at least you don't have to worry about tornadoes. I've been getting tornadoes like tornado warnings every other day up here.
Yeah, and your power went out for like a couple of days too.
No, like 4 or 5 days. It was ridiculous.
We're in earthquake country over here.
I can actually relate to that on a spiritual level because so I'm in New York and we got hit by Superstorm Sandy back in 2012. I lost power for 28 hours because my house was connected to the local police station's power grid. So when they got power back, we got power back. And what ended up happening was a lot of my friends didn't have power for a week or two, so they all just came to my place and we just hung out all week. It was fantastic. I didn't have school, I didn't have work. But anyway, as far as what I've been up to, I've been on a major comic book binge. For comics that I don't intend on reading except for certain ones, and I have visual aids. So Free Comic Book Day happened, and I told this to Reggie. I bought this, which is Blackest Night, which is one of the coolest comic book story arcs ever created. I bought the physical 8 issues as well because I'm a whore for Blackest Night. And then I was like, you know what? I want to see how much the tie-ins are. And then I went to my local comic shop and I bought 2 miniseries, The Flash and Batman. I now have almost all of the Blackest Night tie-ins. All 61 of them?
I love the dedication, man. Actually, in terms of comics, recently I read, oh goodness, Batman the White Knight, actually.
Have you read the sequel?
The White Knight Returns, I think it is.
Curse of the White Knight.
I haven't read Curse yet.
I have the trade and I have the individual issues. I'm not going to spoil, but it goes places and it sets up the final arc, which involves Batman Beyond.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I haven't had the time to sit down to read it yet because like I want to like sit down and like dedicate time to it, but because I'm in like 9 different TTRPGs a week, I have like no time for anything like myself. I have to do my VTuber prep like at night, like before I go to bed.
Yeah, that's right.
Like it's that bad because like. Literally, I have a TTRPG today after this. I have one tomorrow. I have one Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Dude, you're busy.
I am and then add in work. I work at a school on top of that. So I am constantly on the go, and it's just I don't have very much time to actually sit for myself. I sat down and actually played a video game last night for the first time in 4 days.
Wow, I haven't played a video game in weeks. Yeah,
I get video game withdrawals, so I have to play a game, at least some form of game, at least once a day. Otherwise, I just
That's so fair.
I'll tell you this much: free comic book days are trap. Like, hey, yeah, you can get certain comics for free, but almost all comic book shops around here actually had a decent sale that I spent. Like,
I think the last time I went to a free comic book day was 2016 because it was around the time that Civil War was coming out, and I went dressed as Tony Stark. So
I can see that. I could totally see that.
yeah, so people didn't really recognize though right away. They just thought it was a guy in a nice suit.
They just thought you were just like you were really like prepped.
Yeah, but it was a good time. But yeah, so we are going to be talking about Kamen Rider Double. So obviously, you know how we kind of go about this format though, Tori, is that we kind of go over our first thoughts. You know, first what we thought when we saw it for the first time,
first time.
Like the first impressions, essentially based off of like suit design, the press conference, things like that. So,
okay.
So Tori, actually, because of that, you know, why don't we have you start off? Let us know how you thought when you first saw our half and half detective good boys.
Okay, so I guess this is kind of like where I need to like start because to be honest, my introduction to Kamen Rider was both Kamen Rider Double and Kamen Rider X8. I actually was watching them congruently for the first time. They were my two first Kamen Rider series. So I kind of like I didn't get to see anything like fan reaction or anything like firsthand personally. But when I watched the first episode of Kamen Rider Double and Kamen Rider X8 back to back, I very much was drawn more to Kamen Rider Double as like I just thought Emma was too silly. I was really drawn into Akiko and Shotaro, like their interaction. I thought it was very relatable, very very fun, but like not too over the top. And then like Philip, I to be honest, in Kamen Rider, I usually like pick like 2 or 1 characters, and I latch onto them for my fucking life. Philip and Shotaro definitely drew me in far more than like Emu or Coffee did in the first episode. I guess I did go back and look at the press conference, and like I don't know. The one notable thing I can say is that early Philip's hair fucking weirds me out. I'm not used to seeing Philip with like really short bangs. It looks so off to me. Like me and my friends have a name for him when he has the short bangs. We call that Proto Philip.
Proto.
We call him Proto Philip because
No, that's just Phil. That's just Phil.
Well, I mean, me and my friends call the green-haired Philip from Futo Tante Grillup.
Grillup.
We just call him Grillup. So, we got Proto Philip, you got Grillup, and then you got actual Philip, which is when Philip's hair actually starts getting long for like the fang arc onwards is where his hair actually starts looking somewhat okay.
Going forward.
Yeah. Then it looks somewhat okay, but that early hairstyle was just not it in any regard. But I was really drawn into I really like the suits. Like I really liked Joker and Cyclone, going over that. Though I do find that my favorite suit when we first got introduced to Double was Luna Trigger, actually. Like I don't know. I really like the idea of like homing shots. I don't know. I don't know. In the blue and the yellow was just like super aesthetic for me. Though immediately after that suit, like my favorite suit got taken over by Fang Joker so fast. And then that got taken over by Fang Trigger in the manga. That's like the one good thing about that manga that I'll actually say.
Giving us the other Fang show.
Fang Trigger? Fucking pogs of hell. But other than that, the Sonozaki family didn't really leave up much of an impression to me. The first episode, like I was just like, okay, they're snooty, whatever. I didn't care for them much at the beginning. My interest definitely fell more into like Shotaro and Philip's dynamic, which I think was the point. I think that's all of my my first thoughts. I don't want to keep hogging the floor here. So do you want to you two want to go?
What? Hello. I'm alive.
But yeah, so Gary, do you want to go or do you want to let me go?
I'll let you go whenever you want. I'm only kidding. All
right. Well,
so here's the thing with me and Double. I don't remember most of Double, and I'll tell you why. With the majority of these talk episodes that we've done, it's either a series that I've rewatched recently, I have a fond memory of, or I read the Kamen Rider wiki just to brush up on information about it. And I've been so busy with work and binge watching a show that we will hopefully be talking about in the future on this very program as it were. I have not brushed up on Double in ages. So that's why I said at the outset, like, this is going to be a very Gary light episode because I don't remember all that much. But that's not a bad thing. I do remember enjoying Double when it was airing. It was one of those Tokus where, I don't know if you guys remember, this is when you could watch Toku on YouTube and not get sued by Toei. Like, I want to say that stopped around the time of Forze.
I think so. Because, like, yeah, because, well, when I get to my story, but yeah.
I remember looking at the suit me like, why don't we have more Decade?
Recipes to yeah.
Because, to be fair, Decade was my first Rider series, and my first Japanese Rider series. My first actual Rider series was Dragon Knight, like most people, which we still need to talk about, Reggie, because that show is fantastic. Anyway, I did remember liking the Double suit quite a bit. I agree with Tori. The Sonozaki family at first wasn't. I'm not a fan of some of the Sonozakis, honestly, at all. And that's all I remember. Yusha says, yes, it is evolved. Because, fun fact, that's how I watched Bokenger. And Bokenger's my favorite Sentai.
I think we all know about how much you love Bokenger. And he pans to the camera.
It's complete.
I mean, you probably love Bokenger as much as I love Kamen Rider Double and Decade. So,
although to be fair, I've been saying for years I'm gonna do a Bokenger rewatch, and I haven't done it yet.
Bro, never mind. I take that back.
I don't have time.
Yeah, motherfucker! I literally make time. I'm like literally the busiest person, and I know I still make time to watch Double.
I'm also trying to watch The Boys and Umbrella Academy and other shit. Anyway, Reggie, you talk.
Yeah, before I bully your friends some more.
So basically, Kamen Rider Double, though, it was airing. Of course, I was still in high school, and well, this is like where I kind of bonded with some friends over Kamen Rider because they're obviously American, never saw Kamen Rider in the first place. Like, this was like what 2010 or 2009, 2010. So that was my sophomore year, between sophomore and junior year, essentially. So I was like in homeroom. I was just showing him like, hey guys, like, so you guys know like we play Yu-Gi-Oh all the time here in homeroom and things like that. But you want to see something that I've been like interested in for like the longest time. So like I was showing them like little clips in here and there of like everything pre-Double, and then like, oh, this is the current series, and then like, oh, what's this? So like, fond memory of Double was just watching it with my friends, like week to week. Them like always asking, like, "Hey man, when's the new episode out?" Like, oh, like here, like because yeah, that was back then. YouTube, did not take down like any like fan subs. So I think TV Nihon was how we watched it. Was like
Oh
it was
my
mostly all
God.
up there. Yeah.
So did you guys watch it in the way that I used to watch anime on YouTube and like the three like little
Yes.
parts that you had? Oh my god.
In segments, yeah. There was very rare occasion that we could find like on Daily Motion or something with like or Vimeo with like the full 24 minutes. But most of the time, yeah, it was YouTube in 3 parts, and we had to make sure that we went by quickly because homeroom was only an hour. So
Oh,
we wanted to
wait,
miss
wait,
out
wait.
anything.
Hold on. Your homeroom was an hour?
Yeah, we had like 6 different segments for classes each day, and then like in between either the second and the third or the third and the fourth, we had homeroom. I think this is second and the third.
Okay, so our middle school was different because for me,
This is high school, not.
I didn't have high school and homeroom in high school. Classes started at 7:30, and I had to get up at like the butt crack of dawn. But anyway, when I was in middle school, our homeroom went for 15 minutes, and that's it. A day.
Yeah. So the first impressions though of Double, like it really stuck out to me like after we just got Decayed because like we have these two halves and halves, and like you guys know my favorite color is purple, so definitely got hooked on like seeing the Joker memory being like a black and purple because like yeah that's my aesthetic, I guess. But and that also really got me onto getting hats. But the unfortunate thing is, though, I never got fedoras. I always ended up getting trilbies, so that's the closest thing we could find. So for those who don't know what a trilby is, it's essentially like a fedora, only it curves at the top.
It's like what Sora wears in Wizard.
Yeah. So essentially, trilby is what everybody, the well, I'll just say it right. Like those guys who always go like "milady" that they think is a fedora. That's the kind of hat they end up getting.
One of my ex-boyfriends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love. We need to find me a wind scale fedora one day. Like,
I mean I have one. Remember I bought one from Manadarake? I literally have one like Shotaro's hat from the first episode and one of Philip's hoodies and Philip's book. Like I got all the premium Bandai merch.
Can't you just buy a normal hat and like a normal fedora and just be like, "This is my Double cosplay"?
No, it's different because like because Premium Bandai actually puts out the actual hats that look exactly like the ones from the show.
With the printed wind scale logo.
Yeah, with the wind scale logo.
Mm.
I would turn on my camera, but no. And I have. I'll post one on Twitter. I'll send one in the group chat after.
Okay.
That way you can see.
Yeah. So I know that like we kind of went over like a little, or Tori went over a little bit about like their feelings about the characters. Yeah, with me like the little dynamic between Akiko and Shotaro, it's like the annoyed big brother essentially is like kind of how he was with her. But like at the same time, it's like you kind of get that when you learn a little bit more about his history with Sokichi, her dad. Like he like it's not like I'm gonna kick this girl at the curb. Like
they're practically siblings when you really think about it.
Yeah, that's why like I love their dynamic. And then like of course, yeah, like what Tori was saying about like Philip was kind of like disconnected. It really showed the contrast between the two our two protagonists. Like Shotaro attempting to be the cool bad boy that he thinks he is, but in reality, like he is intellectual in a way, like he's street smart in comparison to Philip's like overall intelligence. Like,
see, when I think about the first episode of Double, it's really bad. But I always just think about how Shotaro fucking slapped the shit out of Philip first episode. I was like, oh my god, okay, what a good start.
But yeah, their dynamic, just them going back and forth, and then like eventually, Phil becomes more humanized in the show as it progresses. Like, yeah, he stops being that encyclopedia, and starts being more of a interactive person and like more emotional too, like developing on. And then, of course, like, well, we'll get into it later when we get more into like spoiler territory. But just how he his entire shift, like, and then like kind of makes sense when you find out of like his past. But yeah, and the Sonozaki is basically they're the upper class. You know, that's basically just what you see them as, like the upper class bad guys who want to control everything.
Yeah,
Essentially.
yeah, they don't really get a lot of characterization at the beginning of the show, which I think is good. I don't know. I think the first episode of the show is a really good setup, honestly, for the rest of it.
Yeah, because it actually does involve the mystery aspect that they want to go with at the very tail end of that first episode. So, let's see, 1%. Yeah, the 1%. That's essentially who the Sozakis are in the show. They're the 1%.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So, we can just talk about first impressions. I mean, like, but basically, well, we know that throughout the show, there's also Shotaro and Philip's informants. You know, like
Watcher Man and Santa.
Watcher Man, Santa, Queen Elizabeth. But yeah, so I guess like as we kind of have been listing these characters down, like who are your guys' most favorite and your least favorite character? And this could be in any regard of like you actually just straight up hate them, or they just didn't get enough development, or we'll keep it to the show because eventually we will talk more about the movie story in separate episodes. So this is more of like the show and I guess like other media aside from the show and then outside of the movies. So
okay.
I'm going.
You want to go first?
I'm going.
Oh, you want to? Okay. I guess I'll start. Number one character, Philip. Always Philip. Will never be anybody but Philip. My least favorite character. Well, if we're gonna include Futo Tantai, whatever the hell her name is, the main girl in there, absolutely hate her. But if we're going show exclusive, Watcher Man. I don't like Watcher Man. He creeps me out, and I know that's the point, but like, ew. He reminds me of the guys that I used to when I used to do community service down in downtown where I went to school for my drum college. He reminds me of the guys that would like walk up to me at the bus stop trying to go back to the school to get my bus to go home, and would just like hit on me while I'm standing at the bus stop. It was gross. I was like, ew, nasty. He reminds me of those guys, and it's just like, no thanks. I'm good. Please stay 100 feet away from me. No, I think a good second though for Philip would be either Shotaro or Kirihiko, actually.
That's cut off, huh?
Yeah.
I love the fact that we got to see him again, or at least a facsimile of him again in Memory of Heroes.
Yeah, no. Shotaro's reaction, I was like, oh, that's so sad. I was not prepared for that episode. Like, Memory of Heroes really did play like in like a movie. Like, it really, it felt like they wanted to make a movie, but I don't know. It feels like that the entirety of Memory of Heroes could have easily just been turned into a movie instead of like been a game on rails.
Could have been like a combination, double 10 years after O's 10 years after. Because like that really was a great game. Gary, if you haven't played it yet, I would definitely recommend it.
I don't own a Switch.
You don't have a PS4 either.
I don't have a PS4.
Oh damn! You see, I own the regular version on my Switch. And no, I own the premium sound version on my Switch, and I own the regular version on my PS4.
Oh yeah, I remember that rumor. Yusha Camp says, anybody remember the Nazca Joker rumor where they're supposed to have taken the Nazca memory and the Joker memory and used it together? Like honestly, that would have been a fun thing to see if somehow Kirihiko managed to survive. Because like, or if they could have done that in Memory of Heroes, that would have been a really cool thing to see.
Yeah.
But the for me, definitely my favorite, of course. Like I'm your other half, so it's obviously Shotaro. Philip is going to take up the next slot after that. But my least favorite would actually be the Utopia Delpan. I can't remember his name, but if we're talking just show only, the Utopia
Oh, him.
Because like he essentially like we had like later on in the show we got like the Sozakis became a little more developed. We kind of got more of their motivations, their stories, and stuff like that. And we just have this guy who's just like, you know what, I'm gonna just take control here. I'm gonna just be myself. Like you guys barely know me, but Jun Kazu, thank you. Yeah, June. I did not like June at all. Like it's the stereotypical like I'm the OP character, like that comes out of nowhere. I'm just here to be your main villain. Like when we already had Wakana Extreme essentially, Claydol Extreme essentially, I was like, she could have definitely just stayed as the main villain if they wanted to.
I don't know. Like I understand what you mean with Utopia, but let me throw you one better.
Okay.
Whether Dopant was fucking creepy. What a creep.
Yeah, I'm glad that Teruya managed to get his revenge. That was just like pure serotonin to see him kick him over and over and over again.
I hated him. Like I know that you're supposed to hate him, but also I don't like creepy characters that are just like physically like a fucking creep. I hate it. I hate those kind of characters. I'm like, I guess it's supposed to be funny, but it's also supposed to be creepy, and I'm just like, the vibes are rancid, absolutely abhorrent.
Yeah.
I mean,
especially like the manipulation of Psycho, essentially at that point, like
Psycho deserves better. Thank you.
Because like Kirihiko legitimately like felt for her versus Weather's more of manipulation. Because like I mean they both kind of wanted to get higher up in society, but I know that Kirihiko had some feeling for her, but Weather was just more like, yeah, this is just my way up essentially. So Gary, your favorite and least favorite?
So like I said, I barely remember the show. I'm just gonna say Asuka.
Asuka, so Kirihiko.
Strictly because, and this is just gonna come from a place of bias. I owned the figure art, and that figure art was garbage. I also just really hate the suit design.
Oh, so wait, this is your least favorite then? Or
this is my least favorite, yes.
Okay, cool. Really? Just based off of design?
Design, and from what little of Double I do remember, I don't remember him at all.
Well, yeah, his character did get killed off fairly early in the show.
Yeah, he had like 4 episodes, yeah.
But he was like one of the first Toku butts, dude.
God, the OG.
No, wait. Wasn't the first Toku butt what's that guy's name? Kenji Matsuda.
That's why I was saying he's one of the first. Like,
but we like Kenji Matsuda more because wasn't he? He was in Kiva,
and he was also in Hibiki.
If double probably because
highly likely Peacemaker, because like they tend to take a lot of these like villain characters and change them up to be like heroic beings. Like, for example, if I could think of like a villain that changed and became a writer. Well, I mean, he was still a villain at that point, but Necrom, he was originally just pure villain, and then he became more heroic. He was already a writer before he became heroic.
I mean, I can be one even better. In Build, which is one of my favorite writer series.
Gentoku.
Yep.
Gentoku.
Kazumi.
Grease.
Let's see. I'm looking at my shelf trying to pinpoint. Bloodstalk became a writer.
Bloodstalk was a villain through and through. That guy, like,
I will just say
but at least
now.
Became a writer though.
I said this when I said this last year when we had Vaughn on to do the Build episode. I love villains in media that are just so gleefully evil and they get sick enjoyment out of making people suffer. I don't know what that says about me as a person, but that's why like Dark Honda in Power Rangers in Space is one of my favorite villains of all time. But my favorite character in Double is Philip, because there's just like this like air of mystery around him, and then you learn later on in the series that he's actually Sonozaki, and I'm just like, what the actual hell's going on here? Also, Fang Memory is Bay, and I love that so much. And I here's the thing: I don't have the room for rider belts in my apartment. But if I ever do get my own place, I'm buying a double driver with a Fang Memory. Reggie, put that away. I don't want to see that.
But look at the box. Look how they did it.
But man, I got a regular DX one I got a regular double driver DX version for like $40 from a friend. It was lit.
Wait, you should. Hold on, you should. Junkazu's actor died.
What?
Because he said Junkazu made his actor rest in peace.
I don't know if he was talking about, because that message came up when we were talking about weather. So I don't know if that was. But Yusha also says that their favorite is Eternal, and least favorite is the Death Dummy Dopant.
Listen to me, okay?
But wasn't Dummy movie exclusive though?
Yeah.
It's fine.
Eternal also, technically. Weather's actor, okay.
Now, Yusha, here's the thing. Take my glasses off for this one. I would love, Reggie. I see your hammer. Don't worry. I'm keeping this PG today. Right? I'm giving all my swearing credits to Tori because they can swear for me.
Oh, are we not supposed to swear? Oops. Okay.
It's okay. You get a pass.
I was not told.
It's the F-bomb, and yeah, you dropped one already, but it's fine.
I want a new CSM Fies belt and possibly a CSM bill driver, because I want to make everyone else spend money so I don't have to. You can tell me what to do, Reggie. I'm not going to spend money on it because of you.
No, Cam, no, absolutely not. I would be way too poor. I would be broke.
Extreme Memory is one of the final form items that I think I would pick up. I recently got rid of my Genius bottle, the Shift Trideron, and now I still have the Mugen Icon and the Cosmic Aster Switch that I'm trying to offload. So
and you wanted my Splash Driver and all the bottles and stuff.
Well, I still want the Splash Driver if possible. It's like
yeah, it's still in a box ready for you, my dude.
So Reggie, I like this. But by the way, we need to have Tori on again because Tori is awesome and I like her vibes.
Their vibes, yeah. Thank you.
Sorry.
You're fine.
We talked about this before the show, Gary.
Great fart.
It's fine. I know my voice is hyper feminine, and I'm not using my trained voice today because I don't feel like it. So.
You're fine. Anyway, but yeah. So back to Double. Let me ask you guys this question. Do you guys think it would have been possible for them to do more than 6 guy memories for Shotaro and Philip? And by the 6, I mean the core 6, not counting Fang or Extreme.
Okay.
Yes, Bomb Magnum 1. But yeah, I think it was okay, like for them to just keep the original 6, because that's one of the main complaints I see about Kamen Rider these days is Kamen Riders have too many gimmick items. Like they're oversaturated on gimmicks, so they can't really keep forms up.
Yeah.
Like if they had like a brief segment in like a movie or something where they use a different guy memory just like once or something, that'd be fine. But I think that they could have. They're fine just keeping the original 6.
Yeah, I agree because I think that the what's great about having only 6 guy memories is that it's not just like 6 one attack like kind of form. It's Cyclone Joker, Cyclone Metal, Cyclone Trigger. Like you have all these different variations that you can use, and they got a chance to really play around and utilize what they had without having to always introduce something new in order to spice things up. They didn't need it. They could literally just use the 6 that they had and really kind of like expand on what they can do with so little. And I think it allowed the creative team behind Double to really kind of like work with what they had and try to like see what was really possible. Because also like with each one of those memories, Cyclone is like the power of wind. Joker is the power of like fighters. Like the description of each memory is so brief and overarching that you could really do anything with them. They have so much wiggle room with each memory that they could have really done anything with them, and it would have made sense under the banners that they had.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to just go back to what Reggie was saying about, and this has been one of my complaints since GL. Kamen Rider has this problem, and I think a couple other series before Build had it, because Build had this excellent mix of using all the full bottles at different times. I mean, we never really saw most forms more than twice, outside like Mid and Comic and like Hawk Gatling. Double hits this nice blend of seeing all 6 of the main forms equal times in the show, whereas you have shows like, I haven't watched Revise beyond episode 5, or even mentioned, I think episode 2, episode 3. But there was, and I was talking to Chenix about this a couple weeks ago. They just got the new Ultimate form, right?
Yeah, Ultimate Revise.
I remember Chenix was telling me, and I quote, they didn't even put the lightning form in the opening. They just go straight and put to the ultimate form, and that's something that really just makes me mad, and that pretty much turned me off from watching like new Rider series unless I hear something different. I know that Rider is trying to push all these henshin items, and here's an example. I collected all the icons back in Ghost. Ghost suffered from the same problem, and this is why, Reggie, I hate Ghost with a fiery passion. Ghost did a horrible job of utilizing all the different forms, because we saw maybe we saw Newton like twice in the show, and there wasn't like the usual, like the thing that happened with Double, and I think by extension O's. In the final episode, they didn't blitz through all the forms like they did with Double. That's one thing I do remember. We saw all of the main forms once Philip got resurrected at the very end of the final episode of Double. I like when Rider series do that, because it's like, hey, this is everything you missed. It's been fun. Not like current Rider, where it's like, hey, we got like this form 2 episodes later. Oh yeah, we have a new form now. So that's one thing that I will give Double credit for. It was a simpler design. Wasn't Double supposedly based on Ichigo slightly?
What?
The suit design. I mean, strictly.
I think that it did take a lot of inspiration from earlier designs of Rider, in Showa, which you can see with the scarf, the green, like it's like all over the face. The red eyes, yeah, you can definitely see that there was a lot of Showa influence in the design.
Yeah. No, but what I was just gonna say is that's why I like the fact that Terui in particular only had. Yes, Reggie, I know that's a Shinchoku Seiho. I want it. That's why, like, I like earlier secondary riders in Heisei, like Axel. I like I really like Date and Goto and O's because they weren't trying to throw gimmicks down our throats. As far as I remember, in O's, Bert didn't get a proper upgrade, right?
No, he didn't
Nope.
until
Until the 10 years after, which was
because you got
fully.
Yeah, because you got proto birth and then you got actual birth, but those were used by another rider, and then like you got the 10 years after, which you got like the birth upgrade, which actually fucks. That I will say it. That thing rocks my socks off. I love the birth upgrade in the 10 years after movie.
What I was gonna say is a back to basics approach. That's kind of like what 01 was for Reiwa, because there was a lot of crossover stuff during the time of GL with bringing back past Rider alumni to reprise their characters, and that's one thing I love about 01. It was very basic. I mean, outside of the whole 02 debacle, Aruto had what, 4 or 5 forms that he used more than once. That's something that I can appreciate about Double. It was very back to basics. But yeah, I talked a lot. You guys have the floor now.
Okay, well, I'm gonna. I hate to be like this, but I'm gonna refute your point about back to basics.
Sure.
Because Double, there was no back to basics with Double. That Double. Because right before you had Double, you had Decade Kiba. Kiba also only had 5 forms that he used. Double wasn't doing anything that was crazy out of the norm. If anything, Double was like the step towards getting more form and kind of like showing what else could be done with rider forms. That's just my personal opinion, that I don't think it's a back to basics thing. I think Double was a step forward.
Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of forms, I guess we can make that part of our next session. Of course, we have our main, Cyclone Joker, Heat Metal, Luna Trigger, Fang Joker. What is your guys' favorite half change? So, the mix-ups.
The mix-ups.
Yeah. So for me, I'll start off Luna Metal. Just because, not just because you have that, super extended rubber staff, but when it uses its finisher, and it generates those magic circle Luna things, and then it ends circles, and that sequence was just why can't we get more of this? Please give me more of this. I want to see this form more in action. Plus, the contrast between the yellow and the silver, which you can kind of argue is like a gold and silver form.
That's so valid.
So that's why Luna Metal, hands down, my favorite of the half changes.
All right, my friend, do you want to go next? Because I always end up going first, so I should go last this time.
I, Gary, the Lord of Drinking Water, who has not drank water yet this show.
Everyone.
I'm literally almost done my bottle of water. I've drank a whole bottle of water already.
I just got ice left.
Anyway, favorite half change? Yeah, Luna Metal's up there. Strictly because they can make anything long and stretchy. But then again, I'm anything involving trigger intrigues me, because you can just shoot bullets with that element. Which, going back to my previous point of, could they have done more than 6 guy memories with Double? We had a fire form, whatever Luna is supposed to be in a wind form. We're missing water.
Oh, it's Chad. We'll talk about that after Chad. Right now we're talking half changes, but.
Oh no! I have a lot to say about Futo Pie, but we'll get there. That's gonna be Tori sits here and rants for 30 minutes.
This is like the meme where hold me back. It's me trying to hold Tori back.
Pretty much. The only reason I'm glad that Futo Pie exists is more Kamen Rider Double merch for me.
Yeah, so I guess Tori, that is your half change time
They are
now
up.
because Gary was
Alright.
saying they would like to see more trigger combinations, but yeah.
My favorite half change. Hmm. Honestly, maybe it's because I used it a lot. No, that's definitely because I used it a lot in Memory of Heroes. Cyclone Trigger, and Heat Joker. I don't know. I just think the wind bubbles, like the bubbles, wind bullets.
Wind bubble.
It's because I was looking at my water bottle and I was looking at the bubbles in it. My bad.
Bubbles.
No,
Bubbles.
no. I don't know. I think Cyclone Trigger is really cool because it's just like it's blasts of wind, and it definitely like personifies exactly what like Cyclone is meant to personify as the wind of the city, and how like the wind of the city can be very strong because like that's something that Shoshu even like mentions constantly about the wind in the city, like the city is crying and all that. I think being able to personify the wind of Futo to fight their enemies, it's so cool. I don't know, anything that has to do with Cyclone, honestly, is my favorite just because of the motif of wind and double. It's so good. I'm sorry, that's like not a very specific answer, but
No, it's specific. You're talking about primarily what you love about the Cyclone side of things, but the mixture of it. I mean, what about Heat Joker? Because you mentioned that too.
oh,
Like,
Heat Joker. I don't know. I think taking the idea of magma and heat and combining it with the power of being able to fight your opponents, because time for me to show my little love of science here. The idea of punching somebody with heat means that it's going to hurt more because through kinetic force, you are generating also your own heat. So when you make impact, your punches are going to really be really, 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 really hot. And I think it represents it. It really shows that Shotaro and yeah, no, it definitely shows that Shotaro does have a really, really fiery side when it comes down straight to it. And that Philip will go ahead and try to match him. Like I know a good arc of the show was Shotaro trying to match Philip, but I think Philip also has to go out of his way to learn and grow to match Shotaro in his own way. And I think Heat Joker is a really good representation of that.
yeah, Shotaro having to match Philip's power set,
Mm-hmm.
Philip having to match Shotaro's emotional set.
Yeah.
Essentially, is like one of the best part of the arcs of the show. And here, let's go ahead and because Chad did actually ask us a question in chat besides Fudo PI. We'll talk about that later. But favorite moment or favorite battle within the double series. If we were to, well, I just this has just been running through my head the entire time we were talking because we were talking earlier about the. So I'll start off with a comedic moment. Was when Sharto and Philip went Fang Joker. I think this is the second time they went around, and this is like the first time Akiko's actually able to catch one of them.
Right.
And so this is for the comedic moment of it. Like, they transform. She goes right next to where Philip would be, and of course Philip becomes double. So she just sees Shotaro's body fall over, and she goes, like, "Oh, over there, Akiko!"
Oh, that's a good moment.
It's just because we were talking about their dynamic earlier. That's just been like replaying in my head over and over. So that's my favorite comedic moment from Double. But when it comes to the battle sequence, like I mentioned, against the Nightmare Dopan with Luna Metal, visually that's one of my favorite ones. But definitely when they had gone extreme the first time, because like at that point, like it's you get to see kind of a combination like we were mentioning earlier about Shotaro's ability to keep up with Philip, because like this is like extreme. It's definitely like it's supposed to be kind of like that limit breaker type deal, because this is literally them as 100% as one at that point. And then just seeing them with like their different abilities that like, and pretty much combining the full on analytical ability of the Gaia library within Extreme is just pretty overpowered these two dopants who apparently have been dopants for decades. So they have have they know their powers front and back. So like they're that arc with Beast and Zone was like because you have these criminals like who've had their memories longer than anybody else, so like they're more of a threat at that point instead of like a brand new person like what Magma in the first episode where it's just like he had his powers for probably like a day or two. Like it's dangerous powers, but he doesn't know exactly what he's doing with them. Versus these two, that like they've planned, they've known this, but like essentially their entire plan unfolded when their bond, when Philip and Shotaro's bond for the first time like became 100%. So that's why I say it would be my favorite battle moment. In Double would be the first the debut of Extreme versus Beast and Zone.
Nice.
So let's go to. Well, I mean, Gary, can you remember the other battle moments?
I just feel bad because I haven't contributed all that much to this episode of the show, but
you're fine, man. You're fine.
You're fine. I think I talk enough about Double for the both of us.
Yes. Unlike Ryu, I just show up and I look pretty and I get married to Akiko and yeah.
So, Gary, you know what you could have just said to us at the beginning, don't ask me questions. And that could have worked out perfectly.
Here's the thing, I didn't want you to get mad at me trying to remember Double all that much. But anyway.
We're not gonna get mad at you for that.
Here's Reggie actually stole my answer.
Oop, down.
What I do remember the most about Double was that scene on the bridge. Shotaro and Philip literally become. If anybody has seen Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, they literally Zexal morph together to form the upgraded Zexal from Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, and they rip their chest open Superman style, and I'm like, that's actually kind of badass. But also, one thing that I wanted to bring up earlier in the show that just completely slipped my mind.
Mm-hmm.
The Sonozaki's cat was a monster.
Mick.
Mick. Wait, his name was Mick? I thought it was a Mitch.
No, Mick. M-I-C-K.
Yeah, well, that's something that Legends also has in common with Double. See what I did there. They had a character named McRory who was kind of an asshole. But anyway, continue.
Okay, so, Tori, your favorite moments?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So are we going into spoiler territory or not yet?
I think we've got into it already because we did talk about Kirihiko's death. We talked about them becoming Double.
Extreme. Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure because my favorite moments do involve a lot of the later stuff. Because there's 3 favorite moments that I can hit off the top of my head. One when Philip getting stuck in the trash can. Like, I don't know, like just something about Philip trying to grab walk and not giving a crap about being stuck in the trash can and still writing his notes. Like, what an icon. It's the moment. Next favorite moment was Shoshu refusing to transform because it would actually make Philip disappear after. And just doing literally throwing down, like running around with Utopia save and walking out without transforming. Like, that was goated. Absolutely, like, what a great show of character for Shotaro. That, like, even despite not wanting to use Philip's power, for a different reason this time, because he didn't want to use Philip's power in the beginning because he didn't see eye to eye with Philip. But now he doesn't want to use Philip's power because he holds Philip that close to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was such a good moment.
Yeah,
and then
all the memory gadgets to kind of take down Utopia without. Yeah, that was a good moment.
Yeah, no, that was and it comes earlier in the show, but when Philip has fallen into the well underneath the Sonozaki mansion, Shotaro calling out to Philip and saving him. Getting somehow pulling him out. Like that was a good moment too. And then my last one, I'm sorry, like Shorter and Phillips dynamic just like butters my bread. It's the farewell in that white space between Philip and Shotaro. And the fact that
Emotional damage.
yeah, like honestly, that scene like absolutely like destroyed me for the first time. I remember my first time watching that scene. I was actually in my communications class. I was watching it during a lecture. And my friend was sitting next to me, and he was just looking at me because I had tears like running down my face. I was trying not to sob, and he was like, "Tori, are you good?" And I was like, "I'm fine. I'm fine." I was not fine. I was in fact not okay. Um, but then episode 46 happened, and then I was like, "Oh, thank God."
40.
You know, yeah. Well, they needed them alive. They needed Philip alive to make more money. I also I remember the background, the behind the scenes for that moment.
Mhm.
I don't know if you know this, Reggie, but they actually told Masaki Suda and Ren Kiriyama that they were going to be the last Kamen Riders, and so like they're crying during that scene is completely real.
Oh.
Like they lied to them about being the last Kamen Riders just to get a true reaction out of them, which
Get more
works.
emotion, yeah.
but also that's completely fucked. Like absolutely damaging to my emotional state. Because I'm like, oh, this is a really good moment, but also, oh my God, I can't believe the producers did this.
So intense. So
yeah,
we've talked more about the heroes. We talked about our moments. I guess that we could, if we want to continue more on relation to the show, well, we'll start with this one, and then we'll move on to another one I have a thought for. But your favorite of the monster designs?
I'm going first.
Yeah, okay. I actually am gonna run to the washroom, so I'll be right back while you go.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so Gary, your favorite monster or your favorite Dopant? Okay, the T-Rex Dopant.
T-Rex Dopant. I'll tell you why.
The big old head.
No, the head reminds me of a Transformer. Hopefully.
Okay.
Reminds me of classic Grimlock's head. I don't know what it is about it. It reminds me
I can kind of see it, but
or also for anybody who was around in the Transformers Cybertron line, the Megatron they made for the deluxe class for that line.
The Beast Wars, like 10-year kind of style.
Yeah, yeah. Also, Reggie, well, whenever we're done with the double segment, I have the news lined up for Token Nation, and if you want me to expand into some slight Transformers news that I kind of want to bring up because it involves me spending money possibly.
Okay, you brought the news up. All right, cool. But yeah, in terms of monster designs, I would definitely like. It's funny, like I contrast with you on this, like on how I feel about Nazca. I think it actually works really well as being like kind of it for me. Like it kind of invokes like a little bit of that snooty royal like Harlequin status kind of thing because of the puffy pants look on it. Plus the sword, the Nazca's sword looks really great. I mean, like if I could get a Nazca Dopant again, I would definitely get one. I don't have one currently, but like I really want to get one if I could. But like but that's one of the designs I really like. I think in terms of like if we want to add in creepiness factor as well, Clay Doll definitely like it's like it looks weird to people, but I kind of like how it looks because of like the dead eyes on it, like the dead doll eyes. Like it actually does creep out. Plus the power set of like when she breaks, she can repair herself. So like that kind of like eliminates the whole like oh yeah we can just use a maximum drive and just destroy her. Nope. Reconstruct.
Here's what I will say. I just love the fact that we had a Pokemon named Claydol, and then we have the Claydol Dopant.
Yeah, because they're both literally based off of clay dolls. So,
Also, what I will say is I love the design. Also, though the Terra Dopant.
with the big old head, a big old
Yeah,
crown.
although
The head's so funny to me.
When it becomes the like what's it called, the Barigon or something, the Terra Barigon or something, the
I think,
dragon
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
because like it actually is a face. It was like, "Ah."
It reminds me of those old the Chinese dancing lion dragons you would see at festivals.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tori, your favorite of the Dopants?
Ugh. My favorite dope one. Divine. I always joke about it with my friends, and I think just because of the association me and my friends have, we make jokes about it a lot. Taboo.
Taboo.
I don't know. I watched I watched Double with a friend of mine named Sashen, and he was like, "Wow, look at Beyonce look at Beyonce snake," and I was like,
Beyonce snake.
I was just like, "Oh, Sashen, no." He's like, "What? She's hot." I'm like, "Ah, so you're one of the quote unquote monster effers. You're one of those type." Okay, I see what we're dealing with.
The man
Because
of
he,
culture.
I yes, I know he was also like really into the magician because I showed him the movie and
Oh.
like you know how she was always like putting her legs up and stuff like he
Oh,
was just like
really?
he was like eyeing her inappropriately. I was like, can you watch this movie with a little bit of respect? I was like, he was like, what? I'm sorry, she's like hot. I'm like, I am about to put you in a chokehold if you don't start watching Kamen Rider with a little bit of respect.
You tell him, Tori.
He's only there for the fan service.
He liked it. He liked it though. He also liked watching me cry over a bunch of episodes, and I was like, wow, rude ass bitch.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, when I was in college, quick side story that I can kind of relate to. I showed a friend of mine at the time, Kyoryuger,
Mm-hmm.
and I got a little choked up at the end of the show when they're all singing the Kyoryuger theme song, and Daigo's about to die, and I'm just like, I need a hug now.
God, but no, design-wise, just through association with some funny jokes is probably taboo. But story-wise and kind of theming-wise, yesterday. Absolutely yesterday. Like it was meant to be just like a little like yesterday was like a little arc, but like just the implications that it had on the overall story. And it really kind of showed that the Futo really was a city. Like it like just having that like just that one little character added, it really made it feel like made the city feel that much more alive. But I don't know, I always liked the fact that Futo really did feel like it was a city that was alive, and that even with when we weren't following these characters, they had their own lives that they lived outside of just be like doing things when Shotaro and Philip were around.
The character connections.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's why I like if we just briefly talk about the movie, like the scene where you know, everybody's just cheering on Shotaro, and you see like all those characters from the previous episodes. You see obviously the performance, but then like you see previous dopants and dopant victims, like you know, just cheering him on, like that was just incredible. Because like you know, just having to pull all those people back in, it's like, yeah, it was really good. But the other thing I know that Gary, you actually asked this on our Twitter, favorite insert song. So Well, yeah, finger on the trigger. Always, going back to the scene that
That
or
song,
over
for
again.
some reason, gives me an old school hip hop kind of vibe, but also it's very soothing. And then there's also Blessed Wind. Blessed Wind, now, this requires a little bit of a context. I'm a fan of power metal. There's an old symphonic metal band that I was into back in college called Nightwish. It had a more opera-sounding sound in the early days when the original singer Tarja was our lead singer. She had a more melodic opera kind of voice. And when I heard Blessed Wind for the first time, I was like, this song kind of reminds me of that.
I gotta just hop out of the call because like my phone is dying, so I'm gonna switch to my tablet. Give me a sec.
Okay. See you in a sec, love. But yeah, besides finger on the trigger, I guess Leave All Behind also kind of works as well. Terry's insert song.
I feel like from Decade through Gaim had really good insert songs.
Well, are you forgetting Spinning Wheel from Drive?
Can I be honest, Reggie? I've never listened to Spinning Wheel.
Do you listen to Spinning Wheel? Like, people are going to slap you in the face and say, "Listen to Spinning Wheel." They're going to spin around
right here, right here, right here. I'll be at a con in 2 weeks, and yeah. Here's what I will say though, just in general. Do you have 2 favorite episodes of Double?
2 favorite episodes.
And that's something that I kind of miss about Rider, the 2 episode story arcs.
Yeah, that was like it really worked for Double because obviously the 2.
Yeah.
But definitely I would say, like the bird. That's when Kirihiko and Shotaro actually bonded, and then that was unfortunately also our last Kirihiko episode. Because it just showed that even though I'm this essentially a drug dealer, I still care about this city. I want this to be safe, and these kids, they're abusing this. I don't want that to happen to them. And then also the nightmare arc, just because we got to see those funny dream sequences.
Oh god, that gave us the most coveted freaking Gaia memories.
Kuribura.
And seeing Masaki Suda in a bald cap will never not make me laugh.
So, Tori, you just came back. We switched off of. We still haven't heard from you on your favorite insert song.
My favorite insert song. Honestly, Cycle Effect acoustic, the acoustic mix. Actually, I don't know, man. That it hits so. It's so. I really love it. And even though we never got to hear it in the show, which I wish we did, WBX the Hardboiled Ballad version.
I need to listen to that.
Yeah, no, WBX got a ballad dance, a ballroom dance kind of song, and I was like, it's so good. No, I really like a lot of the softer songs. Finger on the Trigger is great. Honestly, the version that Ren Kiriyama and Masaki Suda did in the show, I'm glad that we kind of got a full version of that, kind of, sort of. And it's so funny to hear that Masaki Suda didn't want to actually do it. But now, if you look at Masaki Suda, has a whole discography. He literally released new music a month ago, and it's well, this is why you should try new things. So, sorry I was late. I had a little bit of a technical difficulty on my side.
Sorry, you're fine. You're fine. We're always late. Anyway,
we were still on the. So what happened, Tori, is that Gary asked a question. Your favorite 2 episodes? Mine were pretty much the end of the bird arc, you know, like because you see from Kirihiko, like how much he cares about the city, but at the same time, it's also unfortunately our last Kirihiko episode, and then the nightmare arc because of the dream sequences.
Yeah.
And
My
also
favorite.
them transforming in the middle of a field of that that stadium or something.
Yeah.
On the pillows.
Oh yeah, that was really funny. My favorite episode, probably episode 20. And episode 48. Yeah. Like, basically the Fang memory episode where where Philip finally actually gets to use Fang properly with Shotaro for the first time. And then that episode where it's kind of like the ending, like it's the final like beat down and like the final goodbye.
Yeah. Gary, can you remember your favorite two?
Oh,
Gary is you're gone.
oh, I hope I didn't do something.
I don't think you did. I'm pretty sure I'm main host, so I don't think you can kick somebody out. I can kick myself out, but
No.
Okay, there we go.
What happened? Sorry.
I'm so sorry. I thought I like said something wrong. I was about to panic.
No. Tori, I'm sorry. No. I have a lot of tabs open for news and such, but
And then you
I just have an idea for a future thing we could do on the show. But anyway, I plead the fifth. I don't remember much of Double's episodes, so if I had to just say just for the sake of answering the question, it's the first two because T-Rex Dopont and Hardboiled are flight mode.
That's so fair.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always find the CG in Double really funny. Like you can tell it's so funny.
By the way, speaking of missed opportunity, I'm kind of pissed that we didn't see the Hard Mammoth in the show.
Well, that would have been hard to do because it only existed in movie War.
Especially on a show budget.
But see, here's my counter argument, and actually, my counter argument is kind of invalid because I realize it's a practical suit. You have the Sentai movie mecha showing up in at least one episode of the season. Like Daitengen showed up in the show, and well, that's not really a good argument, but still, as a Daitengen on my shelf, which is beautiful.
Yeah. I know Gold Extreme, beautiful suit, great suit.
Yeah.
Like, but wouldn't really fit in the show considering like that was literally like a citywide kind of like problem that everybody came together against. That the rest of the show really was just kind of individual cases, and then like Utopia being, Utopia.
Yeah.
So, I think that we've talked a lot about Double today. Gary, I think you brought up a couple of the upcoming news segments that are coming up.
I have a lot of news, so let's roll right into it.
Right. Or we can actually get your feedback on some of these news items.
Some of these aren't Tokyo related, just saying, but I try to bring everyone into the wonderful world that is my mind. All right.
I mean, we probably should keep things Tokyo related, but luckily this time around you do have some stuff that I may be interested in. But it's not exactly announced; it's already been shown. The Two Kaiser times Go Kaiser crossover special. It was like a short TTF exclusive. We got to see Flit transform into Two Kaiser using a special accessory. That is actually also coming out. I'm pretty sure, Gary, you might have that on one of the other tabs.
I'm moving you to the next news item.
Yeah.
The Memorial Edition.
I watched this the other day, and I was on a call with my friends, and I was just screaming the entire time because the Tanuki. I was like, "Oh no, he just had the sub fetish. No, he just had the degradation fetish." And then my friends were, I was just like, oh no. And my friends were like, Tori, if there's something you want to tell us about why you're watching this, I'm like, no, I had no idea this was a thing. And they're like, are you sure? I'm like, yes, I'm asexual. Me shaking my cage at my friends.
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't watched this. I have no intention of watching it because I don't like Zenkaiser.
To be fair, Zox is like the best part of that show. Zox and Stacy. Zox is so good.
I know people. I follow people who love that and Don Brothers. I tried Don Brothers. I really did. I watched the first episode. And I'm just like, I'm not gonna like this. And then everyone's buying toys. I'm just like, thank you for spending money so I don't have to.
Oh my god!
As I hear your partner playing with his Tukai thing.
I know. I hear it too. I'm like, Reggie. Yeah, no. I understand that. Honestly, I was really unsure about Don Brothers because, if I'm really honest, I have not watched any Sentai all the way through. I usually end up dropping them. But Dawn Brothers, I feel like, is actually going to be one that I'm actually going to stick with. Zenkaiser, to be honest, I skipped around, like, a lot. I skipped to all the Zox episodes, because I was like, I do not care about Kaito in the slightest. But Stacy and Zox, let's go.
I can agree with that, but can I make one recommendation for a show that I highly recommend you actually watch from start to finish?
What up?
Watch Magic Ranger.
I've heard half decent things about that. I was also gonna watch Tokyuger and Gokaiger first, so I'll add that on after.
I gave up on Tokyuger halfway through episode 2. I'm skipping Sentai this year, and I have not watched a Sentai since I've not finished a Sentai since Kyoryuger.
That's fair. I know. Honestly, that's how I felt with Rider, because like I watched some of Saber. I've watched all of 01 passively. I had it on the background because like it was interesting, but like it wasn't keeping my attention full on. Then I watched some of Saber, and then I watched like 2 episodes of Revice, and I was like, no, this isn't for me. And that's okay. You know what? That's why Rider is great and Sentai is great. It's because next year there's always a chance that it'll be something that you're interested in.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen more Rider because of doing this show with Reggie than I ever intended on. I was like, you know what? I'll watch a couple episodes of them here and there. I've seen every Rider series now from Double straight through 01. Because of Reggie. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen like most of the Rider series from Double till now. I think the only ones that I haven't seen all the way through are like Forze and I'm finishing Saber. Like everything else I've seen. Looking at 01. I finished you begrudgingly. The only reason I stuck around was because of Naki and her friggin' Jin.
See, here's the thing. I like robots. I like AI. And that's the reason why I stuck around with 01.
Oh, I stuck around because we finally got non-binary representation, and I was so desperate for that because Garo that year had also done a non-binary character, but they had done it so badly that I needed something actually good because Garo versus Ro Takane, their whole thing with their gender is just like the worst thing ever, and I'm just like I hate this. I hate this. I don't know, anyway. It made me mad. Anyway, sorry.
That. No, you're fine. Back to the news. Speaking of the thing that Reggie was talking about, we have the thing that's making Josh, aka Living Ranger Key, spend more money on Ranger Keys because Josh is a whore for Ranger Keys in the same way I am a whore for Vanguard. It's a thing that we're both into. Anyway. This new item is the gold Suiker and functions as an extension of the cellular unit. which made people on Twitter jokingly say that they're just going to keep doing this every 5 years or so until Gokaiger's been run to the
They
ground.
might. Well, there's 12 buttons, so I guess in the next 12 years they'll do that again. But as you guys can see here, it comes with the Jewel World, Ho-Oh Soldier, Patron X, Lupin X, Yuso Gold, and Kirebe Silver Ranger keys, as well as, of course, the unit. The unit itself plugs right into where the gold anchor key would plug into. So it's essentially I made the joke before. It's essentially a Game Shark for the phone.
Reggie, I hate that, but I love it at the same time.
You add it in. As you can see, it has buttons for Beat Buster, Stag Buster, Kyoryu Gold, Tokyu Rokugo, Star Ninja, Jewel World, Jewel of the World, Ho Soldier, Lupin X, Patron X, Yuso Gold, Kirime Silver, and of course, 2 Kaiser.
Jewel of the World.
Yeah, I think that looking at the picture closely, Peacemaker, I don't think there is a slot to keep on adding it. So it might be one of those things where you take it out and then you plug in a new one, or they'll just remold the Gokai Cellular and have another unit to go with it.
See, for me, I don't think of a Game Shark. I think of, it's the Sentai version of the K Touch.
Yes.
Essentially.
Yeah, because this gives you more options, and the Ranger keys I'm actually splitting with Trinity because you don't need the keys for the buttons. You just have to press the buttons, and then you get the sound. So.
Yeah. So who's getting what in that?
Trinity wanted every single one except for Lupin X.
Wow. Rude to Lupin X, literally the best character in that show.
Well, he's taking Patron X, but not Lupin X, so I don't know. But I will have a Lupin X key if anybody is interested.
Possibly.
Noel's so good though.
So this is out in January 2023 for anybody who wants to get Reggie and or myself a gift. I'm only kidding. Don't please spend your money on me. Prices in 11.
We both have our birthdays in that month. So
our birthdays are 2 days apart.
Yeah, I'm 2 days older than Gary.
Anyway, price is only 11,000 yen. Check your middleman. Toku Elector, aka Marcus, has them off. Yeah, so that's
they're 150 on Toku Elector, I believe, because of course you have to account for middleman fees and import fees as well. But yeah, this is it's a fun looking thing. But of course, he's already debuted at this point. But Don Dragoku, the 6th member of the Don Brothers, based off of Journey to the West and Sun Wukong. He has, of course, his Yuko no Nogeki, which is actually voiced by Romy Park. So I'm just, because I'm associating Romy Park with, I think the first time I ever heard Romy Park's voice, or at least I was able to identify Romy Park's voice, was in Attack on Titan. So I just see Hanjay from there just yelling out loud all of the.
I'm not gonna lie. So fun story. Chenix is buying every one of these, and I love him to death, but I think he's nuts.
Tori, should I show Gary around my room again? Or
I honestly, I don't know. I don't like Donjiku anyway. I'm like, you are really annoying in the show, so I'm just like. People, I don't know. I just find him really annoying.
Watch a spinner.
I don't know, dude. I'm just like points at him. You points at the door. Get out.
It's kind of cool though that his alter form is a green dragon because it really makes him into.
Yeah, it's cool. I don't know. He was trying to take over for Taro, and I was like, I'm sorry, you will not match my love for Momori Taro. Get the fuck out. Get out. Get out. Yeah, it's Matsuri. I love him. Absolutely, fucking Momori Taro really has that Chad energy. That I'm like, wow, you are awesome. I don't know. I really like him.
The Nin alter is a drone.
Oh no! Why? Why do we live the way that we do?
But yeah, the Dondra Goku items, I think they should be coming out this month or something. I think it says they're
Yep, and like I said, Chenix is buying all of them. Also, Tori, how do you feel about all the altars?
The altars?
Like
Yeah, so like how we've gotten the Tokyo altar or the Jewel altar, the Yuso altar, and then this is the Ninin altar.
I've never. Maybe I'm just out of the loop with Super Sentai, but I didn't even realize that was a thing that was existing.
I tolerate their existence. I think they all look awful.
See,
I
I
get
don't
the concept, but I wish the execution was better.
see. I just don't pay attention to a lot of the Super Sentai merch. Like this is the first year that I'm actually invested in Sentai as it's airing. So I'm like, this is all like brand new territory for me because the only thing I know about like I pre-ordered my first SH Sentai figure art 2 weeks ago because I didn't have any before that.
What was it? Zenkaiser?
Dawn Brother, Momotaro.
Momotaro. Cool.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I don't care for Kaito as a character, so I'm not going to get his suit. I only get figure arts of characters that I actually like. That's my thing. I don't go out of my way to get figures of characters that I don't like just because I think their suit is cool. I need to have an emotional connection to to what I'm getting, which I know is weird.
I used to have this collect all mentality when it came to Transformers and Gundam, and now I'm just like, yeah, I don't need them all. I just need to collect the suits that I like.
Yeah.
Anyway, look. Speaking of cool suits, we're not showing this for copyright reasons because we don't want Toei to DMCA us. But
Kamen Rider Black Sun.
Oh, I was actually watching this before the show started. I didn't get to finish it, but it looks really good.
Yeah. Oh, I do know some stuff, but I'm not going to say it. But we at least know that in Japan it will be aired on Amazon Prime in the autumn. So
we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes peeled to Tokyo Nation as well as Bugz2Men, where we will hopefully bring the news as it in the craziest way possible and/or as it happens.
Yep.
Yeah, because
I
don't know. It's because Kamen Rider Black Sun is Kamen Rider Black, right?
Yeah.
Essentially, it's like a retelling because you also have Shadow Moon, but he's actually referred to in the show as Kamen Rider Shadow Moon.
Yeah, I was like, because I know Shadow Moon's there. And Shadow Moon's old Showa.
Yeah, and Black Sun kind of
Shadow Moon was Black RX, right?
Shadow Moon was in both.
Oh, was he in both? Now you guys get to see where my knowledge flounders. I don't know anything about Showa.
Yeah, so Shadow Moon is essentially in the show, the brother. I can't remember if it's adopted brother or step brother, but he is related to Black. In this instance, though, in Black Sun, we see that Black Sun, the person who's playing Black Sun, is actually noticeably older, and then the person playing Kamen Rider Shadow Moon is actually younger. So I'm not sure how the dynamic will be there, but do we know if this is a show or a movie? It's a show.
Oh, is it a show? I thought it was a movie.
I believe it's
supposed to be a show.
Oh,
but we'll see how things go because it might be because I can't remember if 100% if it's supposed to be a movie or if it's supposed to be a show. But I think it's supposed to be a show.
Oh, well.
Because it says reboot project. It might be in the vein of Amazon's, where it's a lot of episodes.
Oh man, Amazon's. I'm not even gonna get into Amazon's because that's a whole. Do you guys want to hear Tori get angry for 20 minutes?
No, I don't want to hear my friend get angry.
Don't do it. I'll give you back.
Let me at it.
All right, so moving on from there.
Next piece of news, we saw that Shoto Super has revealed its next line. As you guys know, currently we have the Jew Ranger, Gal Ranger, and the Go-Go 5 for sideline of figures. We are going to see our next one, which is going to be Chochu Sentai Live Man. With Black
Live Man!
So I guess are these kind of like see, I don't know. Are these like posable figures? Like they're like smaller
Yeah.
posable
They're
figures?
posable figures. They're like along the lines of Yudo and Soto.
Oh, okay.
Shoto. So these ones though very limited. I think on stickers. I think they're mostly all painted. I think the silver parts of them are supposed to be stickers from the looks of it, but
Okay.
these are highly posable. Well, I say highly posable. Like for what
Or
I think
something of that style.
for that side style. Yeah, look at all the accessories.
Look at all the
Wow.
I know.
things
I
you
was
get
talking.
to lose.
I know. Yesterday, I saw in a conversation, like we have a group chat, and Tom was saying like, or somebody in the group, because Tom was like, "I need these," and somebody was saying like, "Oh, thank God, I thought these were figure arts for a second," because
You know,
our,
you
our next
mentioning this.
line of figure arts, or our next Sentai figure art that's supposed to be coming out is Don Momotaro.
Yep, and that's the one that that's the one that I pre-ordered. Also, Reggie, you mentioning Soto. I don't know if you remember this because it was a long time ago. But remember when I got the the Grease Blizzard one, and it was just me crying in the freaking like in the chat about how there was so many stickers
Yes.
about Grease Blizzard, and I was like so upset.
Oh man, I should have just offered to like, hey, if you ever have something to send me that, and I'll just paint it so you don't have to sticker it.
I was so upset the whole time. I was like, this is like the worst because I don't have tweezers, so I had to put all the stickers on with my nails, and it was like the most painstaking thing that I've ever done in my life. And I was like, literally, I remember telling C, I'm never getting Sotos ever again.
Yeah.
And I didn't even get the Kamen Rider double ones because of that.
So for this one, it's coming out. I can't remember actually the exact date, but
December
it will be
8800.
8800. Yeah. So December, expensive month for anybody who collects Sentai. And
Speaking of things that'll make Reggie and possibly myself spend more money, Complete Style Gigantic Kamen Rider Kuga Titan Sword announced, which is the first of the new Complete Style Gigantic series toys. And
so a little bit of side information for this, if I may. So the Complete Style Set Gigantic is supposed to be a separate line from Complete Selection Modification, the CSM. CSM are going to stay remaining with belts and gimmick items. So anything that came from a series that did include a gimmick, so like Yuki, Blade, like those ones that actually would have interaction with the gimmick item, they'll stay under CSM. CSG is meant for the non-gimmick Kamen Rider weapons. So pretty much you'll see things from like Agito, Kiva, Hibiki would also technically count if we did get anything in there. These would fall under this line, which is why the first one that we see, of course, is the Titan Sword, which is actually kind of threw me off as being the first of it. I would think that they would probably do the Dragon Rod or the Pegasus gun, but it makes sense though for the Titan Sword because it's a big sword. So
yeah,
and you know how people feel about big swords. We did get the ultimate line of Seikens, so we got the ultimate Seiken set, which had the blades and the espada. Or when I say blades, I mean Suiseiken Nagere and the Raimeiken Ikazuchi emblems. And then we also got the ultimate Kurayami and the darn it, I'm blinking on Falcon's well, that one, the orange blade. So we got those in the other line of ultimates, but this is the actual one that comes with it will come with like Peacemaker said, it will come with the right. It might come with the rising part because this is meant to be the same size, if I recall correctly, as those Seiken. So it's not 100% 1-to-1, but it is a larger scale sword. So more info on the 20A because currently this is just a teaser image. So we'll finally figure out the release info and the costs. So
I know it won't be.
It will be coming to the States, by the way. Team Rider did confirm it. It is imported.
See, if we're doing those kind of like swords, like real size swords, I want the Beat Crosser from Build full size.
Well, I would think that would still fall under the CSM line because it does incorporate
Yeah.
an ability to use bottles. So
Yeah, I guess it
okay,
would be a
bigger.
CSM. My bad.
Yeah.
You know the one that I want because only Carl and me spend money, and I love.
It would likely also fall under the CSM line, though, Gary.
Don't
Because you're thinking of. Are you thinking of the King Rouser?
Actually, I was kind of, but also I was thinking just of the normal Blade Rouser, which I know got a release.
The Blade Rouser was part of the set of the CSM set. So
There.
I don't know if we that, but
And Ix's sword
the
from
Excalibur,
Cuba.
the Excalibur could come into this line because
Yeah.
Can we get the Survive the Survive Rouser from freaking from Ryuki?
Survive. So I think
the gun and the gun thing and the sword shield thing that Knight and Yuki have.
I think those would still fall under the line of CSM because those I think also allow like swiping of the cards, don't they? Or use the cards.
Yeah.
So I think they would be CSM.
All right. Moving on.
I think Knight's is Knight's big old like lance thing, like his original lance thing. I think that one doesn't use the cards, so that could be a possibility.
Yeah, anything that uses the cards though in Ryuki would probably just be a CSM.
Yeah, but CSG, hopefully new things come out and we can see them soon, or after this one. But
moving on from there, a bit of sad news in the world of Tokusatsu. Ryan Parrott and Matt Groom are leaving the Power Ranger comics. I haven't read the Power Ranger comics since issue 3. Yes, I haven't even read Shattered Grid, but we'll see what happens. I've heard these are fantastic. But yeah, it's sad. I've heard they've done fantastic work. Also, real quick, while I'm thinking about it, shout out to Eric, aka Tricky B47, the designer for our first logo, for welcoming a new addition into the Toku Twitter fam. His son was born this week.
Yep, happy for them. Little
Very
guy.
happy for
Hopefully,
you guys. Mazel tov, congratulations, and you guys are going to be amazing parents. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah. So Gary, I see on your tabs these are not Toku related.
But one of them I really want to talk about. Actually, one of them ties into Kamen Rider slightly, and I'll explain how. One of them involves you, and then one of them. So, Transformers Collaborative Project Yellow and Terrain Tacticon will probably be revealed this Thursday. We don't know what these are. They look really, but they sound cool. These are more crossovers. People were speculating about what Project Yellow could be. I think it might be a SpongeBob reference. And here
I'm trying not to laugh. I'm sorry.
They're fine. It could be a transforming boatmobile. You don't know their life.
I don't know, man. I don't think that they would dive into SpongeBob.
Or transferring Krabby Patty.
We already got the bots, man. That's where all the stuff can come from.
Those are just making me think of the transforming food from Forza when you say that.
Yeah.
The food rights.
Also, I think this week there's going to be some kind of Gundam event. So for people who like Gundam, like myself, and other people that are trying to get into the Gundam line, your wallets might be in danger. I know mine probably will be. That's besides the point.
I don't know. I've been playing the Mini-Pla mobile game, and that's pretty much as far as I've gone.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The one that lets you pretty much kit bash your own Gundam kit together.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do.
I played that for like a day and then I got bored. And now, Reggie, here's where you come in.
Okay.
Funko Pop Jumbo Sized Unicron.
I've been letting go of my Pops, man, so I don't know why you thought this would be something that excite me.
I don't know.
You're not doing Pops anymore, Reg?
Not too much. Like, I'm being selective, and I'm letting go of certain ones. So
That's fair. It's a lot. I only have 4, and I've only ever had 4. I don't know. I've always thought about getting more, but the Pokemon ones that I was really interested in looked really creepy. I was like, no.
Yeah, they're just plain black eyes on everything. Like if you just add a little white dot, then they look fine.
Yeah,
But,
it like if I got those, I would definitely be like painting like proper eyes on them because I'm like, no, this is no. It's like coral.
Bulbasaur wants your Bulbasaur.
Yeah, like it's like Coraline, just like they sew buttons in their eyes.
And real quick, the reason why this relates to Tokusatsu is because they're doing as SCTC exclusives this year. They're doing the
Power Ranger
the Power Ranger Ninja Turtle crossover Donatello and Leonardo as Funko Pops. The one that I really want though that isn't on here, it's actually Target exclusive. It's Stardust Dragon because I'm a sim for Yusei Futo from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds.
That's very fair. Did you ever? I don't know if you're interested, but did you ever pick up the Blue Eyes White Dragon one, the big one?
No, and I can actually explain why. I became a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! Through the anime, the old card game. I have gotten so tired of everyone saying OG Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the best. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, when I was playing that, did nothing to help that.
See, I play the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game now, so I'm just like.
Out of curiosity, what deck do you play?
5 first.
We'll talk about this after because our show's is almost over. But I like the fact we're getting more pop vinyl Transformers, especially Unicron. And this one won't cost you $660.
Depends how quickly you can sell.
And then, real quick, because I saw this something I kind of want to buy it. Iron Factory, which is a third-party Transformers company, is doing their own Sengoku style Grimlock.
Oh yeah, that one looks badass. If I could.
Yeah.
No,
if I had space. That's a if you had space, Reggie, because I've seen your room. We all remember the shelf incident.
You can see
it. I was here for that.
I mean, right now, like I already have like everything planned out for in terms of pre-orders and things like that.
Nice.
So like I cannot fit this in if I really wanted to. So.
That's fair.
I could if Big Bad did the PayPal paying for us, I would buy this in a heartbeat.
You could, but does that mean you should?
Yeah, I know, but I probably will grab it at some point. I mean, the freaking hatchets combine to form a giant blade of death. And also, they said Sengoku style Tyrannosaurus. Come on, that's cool.
This is Grimlock.
This is $80 before shipping, out in August.
August is way too soon. Tori knows what I have in August.
I've heard. I think I know we too. But Iron Factory does solid solid third party work.
I've heard lots of good things. So
Sonic Wave, Jobby's review. I know Primal Command. I've heard good things about the Primal Commander. I kind of want to grab that at some point.
Gary, you're going into shopping mode. Hold on.
I'm not buying it. I don't know. I stopped myself.
There we go. But this was a fun episode. Talking about Kamen Rider Double. I mean, we did kind of diverge like for the last 40 minutes of the show to talk about the news, but that's kind of how the show is. It's always like bouncing around, but
I didn't know if you wanted to just quickly, because we did get that comment about Futo Pie. What are your guys' thoughts on it?
I'm just glad that, like we mentioned earlier, I'm just glad that it's bringing some more Kamen Rider representation to the States. I wish they had more open auditions for voicing, because then I definitely would have wanted to try. But I know that at this point they probably already have their cast all set up for the English dub. But
that was actually my next question.
Is it getting an English dub? Really?
I believe so, because it's going to be on through Funimation, isn't it? So typically those guys.
I'm pretty sure they did announce a dub, but my question is it getting a simul dub?
I don't know that.
Simulcast? I have no idea.
Well, no, because they said it'll be on the Funimation app, but what I mean like simul dub, like they do for like My Hero Macadamia Nut.
I almost didn't catch that for like a hot second. I was like confused. I was like, "Oh, My Hero." Wait,
does that make Deku a Legend of Zelda reference then? Because he'd be a Deku nut.
Oh, haha.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're right.
Lord,
my name is Izuku Midoriya,
Lord.
and I'm gonna break my arm this week.
But no, my thoughts on Futo Tantai, Futo Pai. But you know, more Kamen Rider Double merchandise for me. So yeah. I'll let it pass. It can exist in the same space as me, and I will probably end up watching it because my friend was like, "You're gonna watch it because it's Kamen Rider Double, aren't you?" I'm like, "Yes, but I'm not gonna be happy about it."
And Gary, your thoughts on Futo Pi?
Well, it's a thing. Do we know if it's getting dumped all at once on Funimation's app, or is it
no? It's probably gonna. If they do decide to dub it, it probably would be episodic.
Like, yeah, it's gonna get released week by week starting in July on Crunchyroll.
Thank you, Tori.
It'd probably be like maybe like because I've seen other animes, and maybe a month afterward they'll start doing the dub, but we'll see.
I don't know. The last Kamen Rider dubbed anything I watched was the Kamen Rider Decade dub, like the last half, because that's all that people have anymore. The Kamen Rider Decade dub is a beautiful, beautiful thing.
What I was gonna say is, here's the thing: I don't watch modern anime either. I know I'm lame. I'm sorry. Can't sue me. I'm cautiously optimistic to see what it's like. I think the most modern anime I've seen is Tiger and Bunny.
Oh, that's old. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I know.
I guess because I do watch anime, and I actually did look up the studio behind Futo Pai. Mm-hmm. They haven't really done a lot. They've done a bunch of OVAs. This is actually their like first big project.
First actual full-on anime series.
Yeah. So I don't know. At this point, I don't know whether I'm not gonna like it because the studio is bad at adapting it, or if the Futo Pai story really is just not good. Like I don't know. I have like heavy reservations about this anime, and like I don't know. I'm just like, because Futo Pai in itself just wasn't to my taste, I'm not going into Futo Pai with very high expectations to start with. It'll be interesting to see if the anime can do anything differently to kind of sway my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna give it a fair shot. I know we'll probably end up talking about it here on this verified program. But yeah, yes, we ran out of stuff to talk about. So Reggie, where can they find you on the interbots?
As you guys usually know, I am 2KROs on Twitter. I am also that on TikTok, and I do have my Instagram. I don't really like giving that one out, but you guys will see me sometimes like things on there. But basically, I put up the same pictures on there anyway. But yeah, you guys can find me at those locations. And Gary, where can they find you?
Where can they find me? I'm trying to find it. Twitter.com/gbase93, gbase93 on YouTube. Football season's around the corner. We start doing some more football content, I think, because I want to talk about my thoughts on the NFL and Deshaun Watson and all that other fun stuff. Gbase Poetry on Instagram, and yeah. Tori, where can they find you?
So to start, you guys can follow me on Twitter at Tori with 2 eyes 626. I post a lot about I usually do like 1 or 2 tweets that are just like Momotaro and Sonoe are gay. I will not be taking any criticisms. I usually just like type whatever comes to mind on there. I do sometimes retweet stuff. My VTuber stuff I'm not going to be releasing yet. If I do release it at all, I may just want to stay anonymous, and if you find me, you find me. That's great. Good for you guys. But other than that, I don't really do a lot, though. You can find me on TikTok at Sora626. I do some duet stuff. I want to do more singing stuff on there because I am a singer.
Ooh.
Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? I don't really do YouTube anymore. I really need to do more YouTube stuff. But no, I usually am on Twitter. My Discord I don't give out, and I don't post anything on Instagram, so it doesn't really matter. I usually just use that to follow what toku actors are doing, because I know some of them actually do get out of what I lovingly call the tokusatsu circle jerk. Because there are 3 paths that toku actors follow. They either go bat crap crazy, they actually become a successful actor, or they get stuck in stage plays and toku and do that for the rest of their career. I believe I told Reggie that somehow Masahiro Inoue has managed to do all 3.
Just Masahiro Inoue.
Yeah, the decade. Kamen Rider Decade. That man has somehow gone completely crazy at least once. Is a successful actor, does stage plays, and does still its own tokusatsu stuff, and like is making his own toku, and he's saying happy birthday to me on like the Sunday before my birthday. So
Aww. We love we stay a decade in this apartment.
Yeah, Masahiro Inoue. Love that man. Like, man.
Speaking of decade, our next episode, I think we will be talking about the Destroyer of World, the Subite no Hakaishi Subite Tsunage. I'm talking about our Lord and Savior, Kamen Rider Decade. But for now, we must.
This is a quick question. Are you guys going to be talking about the Decade and versus Zeo stuff in that, or no?
I don't think we will, because that's technically a special. But I mean, because I have my thoughts on that thing too. But
I know it's cringe. It's cringe. That's what that is.
It was that was a cash grab moment.
Tsukasa Kadoya deserved better. Thank you. Those are my thoughts.
But yeah, we will be talking about that in July. I'm not quite sure which of the weekends we will be talking about that exactly, but we will be talking Decade in July. There is a possibility of a non-Kamen Rider related episode, but Gary and I will discuss that more off camera. But yeah, everybody, thank you though for watching. That stuck around. We got a good amount of comments and things like that. We didn't really get any questions on Twitter. But I'll be pushing for the next one for Decade for more questions on that.
Yeah.
Everybody, thank you for watching, and we'll see you all next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Later, guys.